The Australian Ice Hockey League is spinning into the final weeks of the home and away season before the 14 finals get underway. Over the weekend, the Gold Coast Blue Tongues vaulted themselves into the playoff positions. They now sit fourth. They had an overtime loss on Saturday against the Melbourne side, the Ice, but then they beat the other Melbourne team, the Mustangs, on Sunday afternoon 6-4. And from the Mustangs, one of their import players, Scott Corbett, caught up with Sports Overnight microphone after the match.
Look, we wanted to come out strong to begin with Mark Howell playing today against his brother. We were hoping to get a good start. Didn't really start off that well. We were able to claw it back and tie it up before the end of the period. Just a few little lapses in our game, which seems to haunt us every time. But yeah, I thought for the most part we played all right. Just didn't capitalize on the chances we had.
Can you expand a bit more about those lapses? What is it? Is it just sort of dropping off on the speed of play, or what particular aspect?
I can't really pinpoint it. It'd be nice if we could, just to kind of correct the mistakes. Everyone's saying that we're a young team and we're still learning, but it's difficult and frustrating too, and it's the same mistakes being made. I don't know whether it's preparation or mentally that we just fall into a funk, but it just seems that we put ourselves behind the 8 ball rather quickly, and then we're just scratching and clawing to get back.
Tell us how you came to join the team, Scott.
By chance, actually. I was down here a couple of years ago and I played for the Melbourne Ice, and I went home after that season, and former coach Steve Lafrey was always talking about putting this team together, and last year around February he called me up and said, yeah, it's a go, going to play exhibition this season, and you want to come down and help the team? And I said absolutely, and within a week I was on the plane and say love you. So
you crossed the divide between the two Melbourne sides. I believe there was a bit of a feisty penalty shootout match against them.
Yeah, no, that was probably the pinnacle of our season, with the shootout win, beating them here, obviously. Just one of those things. As a young team, of course, that's the one win we wanted out of the year. Out of the 4 games we played, we just wanted one, and that was the way it happened. We were shorthanded at the time. You can make excuses from either side, who didn't play, who played, but at the end of the day, we got a precious 3 points out of it, and it was just amazing to see the fans behind us, and to get that win was something special.
You've spoken about building the team. Has there been a team in your career you've been involved with where they've either been a new franchise or they've been rebuilding as much as this side has had to do?
No, probably not. I've been on younger teams, but in a sense where it was more like a summer league, that sort of thing. Building from the ground up here has been something really special. It's something that I've come to learn to love, and knowing that I've started out from pretty much the bottom here and worked our way up to now that we're in the league and making a name for ourselves, it's just something completely special to not only myself but to all the boys involved, and to see it from where it came from to what we are now is just amazing feeling.
The Ice who you share the home rink with are leading the league by streets. What makes them difficult to play against?
For one thing, they've got definitely good forwards. It's not taken away from our players at all. It's just a little bit more experience. The guys have been through the wars before. Obviously, they won it last year, so they have that winning mentality. And it'll come with age and experience. We'll be right up there too. But right now, it's just they're that strong team. They're confident, and you can tell when they go on the ice. It's pretty much no one can touch them at the moment.
Vis-a-vis your opponents today, Gold Coast, they've put themselves into that final spot now at the moment, but they've got a tough run home. How do you assess them?
Look, they definitely got guys that can score. Obviously, Matamato and McRae and Falk, all those guys can really put the puck in the net. It's discouraging to pump another team up at the same time, because you know that 2 weeks ago maybe had the bounces gone our way, we'd be sitting in that spot. So you don't want to wish anyone too good of luck, but as they go on, there's a couple friends on our team, obviously the Howells, the brother combination there. It's good to see that, but other than that, you just kind of wish them well, I guess, and kind of bittersweet knowing that it could have been us rather than them. So
there's a bit of insight there. Ross Howe sort of able to give Gold Coast about his brother as a goalie for you guys?
Yeah, Mark was telling me after the game, he's like, it's tough. We played well, but he goes, the thing I was worried about the most is that my brother got the winning goal on me. So you have to have a laugh a little bit about it, but at the same time, that's what the league's about. And you can see the rivalries like that, whether it's brothers or best friends, that sort of thing. It just makes it that much more competitive and more compelling.
You mentioned about not wanting to pump up the ties too much of opposing teams, but do you see a team that can challenge the Melbourne Ice to win the title?
Look, if Newcastle can play the way they did the other night against Canberra and shut people down, that's going to be a nice battle if those two teams make the finals. really anyone in the top four, Gold Coast especially too. And you got Adelaide and Ice Dogs that are raring to go. I think when it gets to playoffs, it's up to anything. Anyone can win. That's what's special about our sport. You know, you might be a favorite going in, but it's just the way the pieces fall that game, and that's what happens. But yeah, it'll be an interesting final to say the least. So
it's intriguing that it's the second time back in the league for yourself. So you obviously like the league down here, you enjoy it, and the other aspects of being in Australia. How do you sell the league when you get queries from your friends and fellow players of ice hockey over in North America? What sort of things do they ask you about it?
They want to know about the level of hockey, obviously the competition level. It's not obviously as good as it is back home. It's getting there with the amount of imports coming in every year, the quality of imports, and that just ups the local talent as well. Obviously, I love the league. I wouldn't have came back and basically put my life on hold back home. I'm down here now, which I hope for good, so I'm looking forward to a long and lengthy stay here in Melbourne with the Mustangs.
What do you see as your biggest asset, Scott? Because you're about the same height as me, about sort of 185. You're not an overly big guy. Is it speed?
I'd like to say so, yeah. I think that's one of the things that sets me apart a little bit. Again, you chalk it up to experience too. We got some good guys on this team that are really quick, but maybe don't have all the tools there physically or mentally yet. And I think just with the experience, that's the main thing other than physical play, i.e. speed or anything like that would set me apart. But that's what I try and pass on to the boys. And you do as much as you can as a role model, teacher, that sort of thing. But yeah, just little things like that, I guess, just chalk it down to experience.
Great stuff. Thanks, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the year.
I appreciate it, thanks.
From the Melbourne Mustangs, Scott Corbett there, one of their import players in the Australian Ice Hockey League, catching up with the Sports Overnight microphone at the Medibank Ice House on Sunday afternoon. The Australian Ice Hockey League into its final weeks of the regular season before the 14 playoffs.
Every weekday